All right, now we're going to get to the fun side of the conference, the Western Conference. It's always loaded, but this year there's no separation on this. The fact that the Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are competing for 1 and 2 all year, are out in the second round shows how deep this conference is. The Mavericks are the lone team that I don't think anybody predicted that they were going to be here. They made some very interesting trades, getting Daniel Gafford at the trade deadline, along with PJ Washington from the Hornets, and it's paid dividends. They've gotten deeper, they've gotten more defensive, and they're able to play with almost anybody. I'm not impressed per se with their path here. They beat a hobbled Clippers team, and they beat a young OKC Thunder who was their first time in the playoffs. I don't think they realized how difficult it was going to be in terms of the OKC Thunder. So, regardless, they're still here. Luka has been a little bit hobbled. I think the time off is going to help him a little bit. They don't have to play till Wednesday. They played, Saturday? So that's quite a long time to have off. Will there be any rust factor in that first game? They seem to be a very calm team. I don't think losses bother them. And I think it starts with Kyrie keeping everybody calm. Jason Kidd has also been very calm. And so you're going to need that calmness because the Wolves are all swagger and all snarl. Snarl? I can't even. Snarl. I think that's how you say it. There's a lot of woofing coming from the T-Wolves. Let's go with woofing. And, rightly so. Anthony Edwards has talked a lot of smack, and he's backed it up. Game 7, his stats were not the greatest. I think he had 16 points. He had 7 assists, and he had key baskets. And that's what a winning player, showcases is, doesn't matter how much I score, what my stats say, is how am I affecting winning. And he's doing this at a very young age with a very good team, very defensive-minded team that I think is designed to beat anybody, to be honest with you. So this is really a coin flip for me. I feel like Luka and Kyrie's calmness and experience on the big stage is really going to be beneficial. Is the moment going to be too bright for Anthony Edwards now? Because you've gotten 2 in a row. Can you do 3 in a row? I don't know, man. I think from just looking at, websites and just looking at different experts, I think most people have pegged the Timberwolves as the favorite here. I mean, big whoop. I mean, they're the higher seed. I guess that makes sense. And nobody's been betting on the Mavericks since the first round. So maybe they like that underdog role, as it were. But, just looking at the starting lineups, I mean, what are they going to do with Cat? Who's guarding Cat? I mean, PJ Washington is a good defender. I think they have to consider bringing in some size. They lost Maxi Kleber. So I think Cat can really run wild in this series. And then PJ Washington guarding Anthony Edwards, I think is food. I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to really care about PJ Washington. So, I mean, just looking at this now, I just don't see how. And the T-Wolves always play defense, and they always rebound. Oh, man, this is tough. I feel like I'm giving the slight edge to Minnesota here, just based on looking at the lineup, but the experience that the Mavs have, it's going to be a pick 'em, to be honest with you. I don't know who else is having it that way, but this feels very close to me. The T-Wolves have had the harder road. They just beat the champs. There's no way I feel like if the Nuggets got to the conference finals, I don't think they would have lost to the Mavericks. So I'm going to give the slightest edges to the Minnesota Timberwolves because of their size, their rebounding, their defense, and their health. I'm sure T-Wolf fans are knocking on wood right now, but they've been pretty healthy and they've looked pretty good. And you have Jaden McDaniels there who's going to either guard Kyrie. I don't know. I think Ant said he's guarding Kyrie. So you're going to have Jaden McDaniels guarding Luka. As long as he doesn't stay in foul trouble, he should be good. And I don't like that lineup against Cat. I think Cat is going to smoke whoever's there. I mean, if they put Lively on him, he's going to get past him. If they put PJ Washington or anybody else, he's just going to post them up. And he was really good in that Game 7, so it's going to be tough. So let's just say that my prediction is T-Wolves by the slimmest of margins. I expect this series to go 7. T-Wolves have shown an inability to kind of close out, but the Mavericks have. They have been closing out games in Game 6. They've kind of split the first few games, filling out each other, but they've always been able to close out the series in 6 games. They've not gone to a game 7 yet, so they have that advantage there. So it should be very, very interesting. And in the regular season, it was all T-Wolves, but I think you got to throw this in the garbage a little bit because these were all games that were before they made their big trades for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford to add depth and defense. So we don't know what these two teams going against each other is going to look like. We just don't know. They've not faced this team yet. And we're going to play the series on 2K, so we'll check it out. Check out that, those games, those simulations to see what it looks like. But this is going to be very interesting to see how they respond and who responds better after the time off that they have. Because this is a long layoff from even the T-Wolves get. I think they could probably fly back to Minnesota, but they're going to. Oh no, they are flying to Minnesota because game 1 is in Minnesota. Excuse me. So they're gonna have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. They're gonna have 3 days off. So they should be well rested. But the T-Wolves look spry. They look healthy. They look good. Luka was a little hobbled. Kyrie looked good, but he has injury issues in the past. So it's gonna be a very, very interesting series here. And one thing I want to throw out there, I want to showcase the net rating here and look at the remaining teams. The Celtics are way above net rating. A net rating pretty much describes how dominant of a team you are. So look at the Celtics. OKC is gone. The Nuggets are gone. The Knicks are gone. The Pelicans were injury design. They're gone. The Clippers are gone. Sixers are gone. Like only the Pacers here are next. So the Mavericks caught up in net rating after the trade. I'm sure that the trade improved them. I don't have the net rating since they made the trade, but it's going to be very interesting. Where are the T-Wolves at? So I don't know what happened here, but let's take a look at the net rating in the Western Conference that's left over. T-Wolves were number 2 in net rating, still way behind the Celtics who are at 11 net rating. So the T-Wolves are in second place. OKC is gone. Denver is gone. Dallas Mavericks are right there. Wow, T-Wolves should be pretty big favorites here. But again, we don't know what that net rating was after the trade, and they seem to be peaking right now. There seems to be like a camaraderie with the Mavericks in a sense of just getting really, really good at the right time. So it should be still a close series, but it's going to be very interesting. This is the series that I'm going to watch every game. I don't think I'm going to care for the East too much. I feel like it's a foregone conclusion that the Celtics are going to win in whatever games that they win. You could beat the Celtics one game in an in-season tournament, but beating them 4 is going to be really tough, especially if they get KP back. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited. I hope you're excited for this series. And look out for those games that we're going to be playing on 2K. Anywho, I will see you guys during the playoffs. See you then.